really, we're only following the recommendations of the report. I mean, that's, you know, we've
Do we have
asked
to
them.
follow the recommendations? Because I'm not quite happy about healthy trees being felled.
Well, we can certainly look into planting other trees if you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we could, Joe,
Yeah.
because
I've looked at this as well, and the only answer is to remove those trees. Poplars are very aggressive from a root point of view, and they will go for a long time and search the water. They have been collared and kept down, but you can't control poplars. The only answer is to chop them down for the long term. If you build a wall further back, the poplars will still undermine it, being that close.
to disagree with you.
Mm.
As a tree surgeon, been working with trees all my life. The easiest way is to pull out the roots and build the wall.
Yeah, well, it's too late to follow up roots, they'll be out miles.
Presumably if we then plant new trees, we plant a different species.
Yes, any tree.
Yeah.
Just to ask, who made the report that said the tree should be removed? That was the tree surgeon, wasn't it?
Well, no, it wasn't a tree surgeon, it was an inspector, basically. It was a company called Procol.
I think it's
There's
just.
no element of confirmation bias there. No element of confirmation bias.
Oh, they won't be chopping the trees down, they just do the inspections.
Thank you. Any further questions for the town clerk? Okay, thank you. The next agenda item is report from outside bodies. Nobody has submitted any reports to me from the outside bodies, but those who represent the council, if you would like to make a verbal now, please do so. If not, I will move on. But please be minded that in future this item is always on the agenda, and as representatives of this council, who are outside bodies, you do have a responsibility to the council to be prepared to answer questions if asked, even if for any reason you don't make a report. So please can we look at this more closely in the future? Not only do council matters matter, but also our outside body matter as well. Thank you. I move on now to item 7, minutes of the previous meeting, which you will all have had copy of and hopefully read through. Personally, I can't find any comments to make. I'm prepared to propose that there be an accurate record, but before I ask for a second, I will ask for any comments.
Second. I'll second.
Oh, it's a second. Thank you very much. Are there any comments on the minutes of the last meeting? Thank you. In that case, those in favour? Anybody against? That's unanimous. Thank you. Move on now to various committee minutes. Received the minutes from the town plan of the 17th of November 2025. Robert Howard.
Yes, I'd like to put these forward as a true and accurate record of that meeting, please.
And that will second.
I'll say second.
Second, thank you, Matt. Those in favour? Anybody against? That's unanimous, thank you very much. Planning and Estates, the 24th of November 2025. Again, down to Robert Hale as the Vice Chair on that occasion.
Yes, I'd like to propose a true and accurate record of that meeting.
I will second.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.
Okay, any comments? Those in favour? Anybody against? Thank you, that's unanimous.
What about abstentions? So I wasn't there.
I beg your pardon,
Yeah.
abstentions?
And on the town plan one as well.
Okay, my omission there, asking for abstentions, thank you for correction. I stand by that. Finance and general purposes of the 8th of December 2025, Deputy Mayor.
I chaired that meeting, it went on for quite a long time, and I've read through all the details of it. I find them, as far as I can see, a true and accurate record, so I'd like to propose they're accepted as a true record of that meeting. Is there any comments?
Councillor Stokes.
Yeah, thank you. As regards the recommendations to put to council, we're not agreeing that at this precise moment in time. The Finance Committee agreed to put them to council, but we're not, as a council, considering those recommendations in this report, or are we agreeing?
We're just agreeing that that's showing an accurate record in the meeting.
And
So
the precept will be
It's a
coming,
recommendation, yes. It will be coming at the end of the month.
it will,
It will be discussed by the council in full at the end of the month.
at the end of the,
Yeah, we have to have an extraordinary at the end of January.
right, okay, so we're.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes, the council needs to agree the precepts. and
That's
meetings.
fine, we're not agreeing the precept at this, we're agreeing the minute, thank you. That's, I just need to clarify, in which case I'm happy to second that.
Thank you.
All those for? Oh, sorry. I beg your pardon. Sorry.
Those in favour? Anybody against? Are there any abstentions? Okay, move on now to the Planning and Estates meeting of the 15th of December. I think we're back to the chairman. Please go for it. Peter.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to commend to council a true and accurate record of the meeting.
Any comments? Those in favour? Anybody against? Abstentions? 2 abstentions identified. We will give you an update on the progress to date. Ashley.
Thank you. Good evening, councillors. Can everyone hear me? I'm quite loud anyway, sorry. It's been a while, so thank you very much for allowing me some time this evening. First off, I just want to give you an update on the MEND project, which is the Arts Council funded project. The tender process for the main contractor has concluded and has been evaluated. We had 6 main responses. Unfortunately, they were all over budget, which did pose a serious challenge to the project. A review process was conducted with the project design team, and they were identifying items and packages within the tenders that were inflating and causing the prices to be higher than the pre-tender estimate. They identified that the mechanical and engineering package, which is the heating and lighting essentially, was causing the most pressure on the budget, and this has given opportunities to go back to the tenderers to look for cost savings. And following this review, as has already been reported, DA Cooks have been selected as the preferred contractor. At the moment, no contracts have been signed, but they're in the process of being drawn up, and there's still a couple of stages to go and what have you. And there's still discussions, but we're hoping that, you know, the budget and the client brief will all come together and it will all be sorted and contracts signed. We're expecting this, well, imminently, I think, really. As yet, we still haven't sorted out the contract administrator. It's not been...
It's next.
That's next. Joking for you in on that. But yeah, the contract administrator is still there. As part of the MEND project, we've had to have a level 4 building survey conducted by Ambury Archaeology. Ambury did our test pits for the enabling works. So they've done a level 4 building survey. I literally got the report through today, so I've not had a chance to read it through. But this report will go to the archaeology team, or to Aidan Smith at Wychavon, and will inform our planning conditions and what have you as part of the project. It's not foreseen that there will be any issues or any problems with this. We've also had our ecology survey updated, which is basically the bat survey, just to make sure that everything's still all right. And it is, we don't have bats, which is a good thing. The Omnu has been fully decanted, it is now empty, and all collections are now in storage. We have now fully moved over to our new site on Merstow Green, the old SBK office. If you haven't visited, please do come and see us. Internally, the majority of the display cases have already actually been removed. They were part of the initial main contractor project, but we've had somebody who wanted to do it for us as a bit of a favour, which is immensely grateful to him for doing that. What I would like to do, because we are imminently looking at starting the works, I would like to offer you as councillors the opportunity to come round and see the building in its empty state. due to the fact that the lights have literally started blowing. As we were moving out, the lights were fusing on us, and we can't find why. It's like she's given up, bless her. But also we've had to remove some light fittings as we take out the display cases. I can only do these tours during the day, and in the morning, preferably, or lunchtime, because as soon as it starts to get into the afternoon, it's very dark in there. Because there's no heating in there, it can be very damp, it can be very slippy. So what I'm proposing is Monday the 19th of January at 12 o'clock. If you would like to meet me at the front of the almonry, I will take you round and you can see her in all her empty glory before we start the works. And it's a real opportunity because she looks massively different, hugely. I'll call her she, sorry, that's just me. But yeah, she looks very different, and I think it's worth just coming and having a look, and seeing her before she undergoes her miraculous renovation and refurbishment. If you want to either ring or drop me an email to confirm, but I will be outside the almonry at 12 o'clock on that day, so please do come along. It'd be lovely to see you all. In terms of fundraising, as you know, last year we launched our sponsor of slates. So far we've sold 132 slates, so we've raised just over £1,300, which is absolutely fantastic. People have dedicated their slates to loved ones, to family, to friends and what have you. And we had a good uptake before Christmas as well, people buying them as Christmas presents for people, which is really nice. In terms of donations, we've received substantial donations this year, notwithstanding £4,500 from the Vale of Evesham Civic Society, particularly down to the hard work of Brian Chilver, who was selling copies of prints, the Leslie Brockbank prints, which are beautiful drawings she did of the almonry. And so they've raised a huge amount of money for us, and eternally grateful for them. A thank you to Councillor Bastow, who has granted £1,000 from his divisional fund towards the almonry. And we've also received some significant personal donations from sort of well-wishers and supporters. I don't want to give their names for obvious reasons, but we've had some very significant donations. As it is now, we call it the GBAP, but the account total, which is where all our donations go, currently stands at £27,700, of which £900 of that has been ring-fenced for work with our archaeology collection, and that's due to a very specific donation from the Vale of Evesham Historical Society, for which we're incredibly grateful. Last year as well, we launched Friends of the Almonry Museum. I say we, it's nothing to do with me. A group of people launched Friends of the Almonry Museum. They're continuing to build momentum, and they are increasing their membership, and they're in the process of forming a formal committee so that the founders can kind of step back and let the group go on. Just before Christmas, a week or so before Christmas, they held a slate making workshop in the churchyard, and they were selling a few goods and things, and they raised way over £100, which, considering it was a very cold, wet, damp day standing outside St Lawrence's, is not bad going. They are looking at hopefully arranging a similar session in February where you can make your own little slate love heart for Valentine's Day, which you can either make into a fridge magnet or a little hanging thing. But we'll give you some more information for that as things are happening. If you want information on the Friends, you can get it either on our website, or we've got some leaflets in Merstow Green if you want to come over. Right, so a little bit of discovery. I did intend to print off some photos and bring them, but I completely forgot, so I do apologise, but I will circulate all of this information to you tomorrow. As I mentioned, we removed all the display cases from the walls, downstairs and upstairs. Upstairs in the room underneath where the tin roof is, we had some very tall cases that went floor to ceiling. We've removed them. We did discover a fireplace that we never knew existed, which was something. But we've taken these cases off, and with a few weeks of the paper that was covered in lining paper starting to peel off. As you do with when wallpaper's peeling, you have to peel it off. I'm sorry, but you really have to. So I peeled off a piece of wallpaper. I'd got our design team with us at the time. And I peeled it off and looked on the back, and it looked like black mould, which immediately kind of made me panic a little bit, because I'm thinking, if we've got mould in the plaster, this could be really something. And then I looked at the wall, and it became apparent that actually this is painted wall decoration. And this is really significant, this is really important. And looking at the panel below, there was indication that there was more of this painted wall decoration. I will admit, I did scream a little bit and do a little dance because I've always wanted to find something like this in the almonry. This really helps give us should help give us an idea of its date and its position and whether it's a high status building. So this is a real significant find for us. First thing I did, I contacted Witch Haven conservation officers and colleagues at Historic England to inform them. They put me onto Harvington Hall in Kidderminster Way, who have a wealth of wall paintings, huge amount of wall paintings. And they recommended a conservator to come and have a look. She came just before Christmas, spent sort of a day in the dark, looking at these wall paintings, opening the sections up. This is why I wanted to bring the pictures, because all I've got is what's on here, and you can't really see very well. But what she did was opened up the little pieces that I'd done, and she went around the room to have a look at what there is. And she has confirmed that there is certainly decoration on those panels, but there are traces of decoration around the room. So what we are looking at essentially is a fully decorated, painted room, a painted chamber, which is hugely exciting.
We'll be able to look at them when we come.
You can see the sections that have been opened up. I mean, they're not massive, they're about that big.
Yeah.
So, don't expect kind of, there's no great, murals or anything like that. They are sections, but you will be able to see them. Having spoken to the conservator a little bit further, what we've arranged is at the end of this month, we're meeting again with the conservator, a lady called Dr. Kathy Davis, who is an art historian and an expert in wall paintings. She has recently published a book actually, which includes the wall paintings found on Cowell Street. She consulted on that as well. We've got our design team from the MEND project coming down, and we've got conservation officers from Witch Haven coming down, because there could be an impact on the MEND project in terms of how do we preserve and keep these wall paintings protected whilst the building work is going on. So we're bringing the whole team onto site at the end of the month so that we can talk about what we've found, what we've got, what we can do with it, but more importantly, how do we look after it while the system work goes on. So as I know more, I will happily let you know what goes on. So if you do come to this thing on Monday, then I'll let you know. Obviously, ultimately, with all of this, it's going to cost money. So if we are in a position where we can expose these paintings and have them on display, there will be a need for money. But this is why I'm going up to Harvington Hall in February to go and talk to the guys there about how they manage theirs and what they do. And I'll be looking at fundraising and grants and things to support whatever we need to do to take care of these wall paintings. And then, finally, I'm nearly there. Last thing, let's start 2026 with some good news. I'm really pleased to announce that I've managed to get the grant from the National Lottery for £393,290 for the development phase of the Reimagining the Almonry project. So the Arts Council project will be repairing the building. The lottery project will be putting everything back in, but in a mindful, thoughtful way that works with our communities and what have you. Can I just ask, Lisa, I see you scribbling away there. There is a formal press release. I have to do this formally through the lottery. I was hoping it would be ready for tonight, but they just need to tweak it. So can I please ask that nothing is published? I know this is streaming, but can I please ask nothing is published until I've got the formal press release from the lottery, which should be in the next couple of days. Just a little bit about the lottery project. The development phase project it's a 2-year project, which is fairly standard for the lottery development phase. And then during this phase, we'll be working up to applying for the delivery project, which is the second part. That's going to be at the moment an estimated £1.5 million project on top. So what we're going to do through Reimagining the Almonry, the aim is to bring the museum into the community and put the community at the heart of the Almonry, telling human stories and using our objects to make connections and engage emotions. So through something called co-curation, We'll begin a programme of inclusion, participation and representation. We'll improve access to collections, care and display. We're looking to create a learning space that can be used by community groups and by schools and could also be a source of income to benefit the future of the almonry. We want to create partnerships and connections with our communities to ensure the project has a legacy and longevity that goes beyond the timescale of the project. We want to foster a sense of place and belonging and representation for our communities and have a stake in wider placemaking activities in the town. We want to bring about transformative change to the building. So the project alongside MEND will not only secure the future, but will also seek safe for future generations. So through MEND, we're going to see ourselves removed from the Heritage at Risk Register, but we're also going to reimagine our visitor experience. So what we want to do is, I'm sure you all know the history of the almonry. It's the home of the almoner who gave care to people. And what we want to do is embed that ethos of caring, sharing and giving in everything we do at the almonry. We want to put people at the heart of everything we do. We want to develop and deliver co-curated displays and exhibitions, working with a wide range of different audiences and communities in Evesham, and tell the stories that matter to them. We want to improve collections care with newly fitted out museum grade storage, using the correct packing materials, environmental monitoring, improving access to stores, and reconfiguring our staff kitchens so we can actually get into the stores. We want to undertake collections cataloguing, and making sure that our collections are available to public and to our visitors. We want to photograph our collections, initially for internal cataloguing, but also so we can share images of our collections and get our collections out to wider audiences. Installing the new display cases with integral lighting and environmental monitoring, which means better collection care. We want to look at new interpretations of our collections. So some will be co-curated using different media. We'll use print, we can use online, we can use online galleries. We want to develop a coordinated, planned and costed exhibition schedule so that we know what we're doing, we're planning ahead and hopefully be more cost efficient from it all. We want to reinterpret the garden space, focusing on the history of the almonry and the horticultural heritage of the surrounding area, with volunteers taking a leading role in the design, implementation and development of the spaces. We want to integrate family-friendly interpretation in the garden, museum and gallery, and activities that are designed in collaboration with users. We want to create flexible spaces within the existing building that are open to the community to continuously develop and tell stories. So for example, we could develop a community case or a community exhibition area. We want to repurpose the existing outdoor shelter bit. So if you visited recently, we had the outdoor bit that had all the old bits of farm machinery, all kinds of stuff, a bit of a junkyard. That we want to create a modern learning space from that. So again, we can bring in the schools, community groups and organisations, and hopefully a commercial income stream for the almonry as well. We want to work with a diverse range of community groups to broaden our access, our engagement and reach. We're going to redesign the shop and reception area to offer them welcome space for the visitors. We want to create a new entrance. So our current front door, even when the door's open, the building looks shut. So we want to look at ways of enhancing our entrance so people feel welcome and they can enter the space. We want to create new branding that reflects our ethos, and along with a new website. We want to develop a new forward plan. We want to produce a costed maintenance plan that will complement the MEND maintenance plan that looks at the building. Our other maintenance plan will then look at exhibitions, display cases, and what have you. We want to create an environmental plan that will cover our activities, that will help to reduce our carbon footprint and reduce our wastage. We want to develop the capacity of our team by utilising mentoring opportunities to help our existing staff to grow and to gain new skills. We want to increase opportunities for volunteers to engage with the project, either short term or long term. So it could be the gardening, could be as tour guides, could be as school assistants, could be collections assistants, could be something happening just during development phase, through delivery phase. So yeah, it's a wide reaching, it's a big project, it's a very big project. What the lottery have done is they've appointed 2 consultants to the project to offer additional support. So Stephen Anderson from Buttress Architects and Catherine Han, who's going to help with the activity planning and the interpretation side. And their roles were there to basically support me and offer advice, support and guidance through this process. We have a start-up meeting with the lottery on Friday. Myself and Joe will be attending. We'll be taking them around the almonry to have a look, and then we will be looking at all the paperwork and what have you. That's kind of where we're at. Again, I will send this round, but I think what's important to say is that since December 2020, when I really started fundraising for this, with this grant that's come in, I've now raised £2.7 million towards the almonry, and we're still the way to go. So with the delivery phase, we could be looking at maybe another 1.5, could be even more. So we're going to be looking at least £4.5 million invested in our little corner of Evesham. And I think that's really important for us as a council, but I think in terms of the community, it's really important that outside bodies see the value in Evesham and in Evesham's heritage. And I think that needs to be emphasised and applauded. I'm not asking for plaudits for me, I'm asking for plaudits for the heritage of Evesham, and that people from outside Evesham value it and value what we've got. And I think that's something we all need to sort of shout about and celebrate. If anybody has some questions, I'm happy to answer some now if we have time, obviously. Otherwise, please give me a call or drop in this email, what have you.
Judith.
I'd just like to say very quickly, actually, for a very personal thank you from me for all the work that you've done. It must have put enormous stress on you. And you, as far as I'm concerned, you know, you're just amazing, absolutely amazing what you've achieved. We're very lucky to have you, and thank you so much for all the work that you've done and are continuing to do.
Thank you.
The staff
Thank
and
you.
your staff as well.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. And I will pass it on to my staff as well. Thank you, it's very valuable.
In addition to that, can I endorse the comments that have just been made on behalf of the council, without taking away any of the comments that Julie's just made. A sincere thank you to Ashley for everything you've done. Congratulations on the extra monies that you've raised and the incredible work you continue to do to bring the almonry back into a thing that it was in the past. And we only look forward to your future success. And thank you.
Sorry?
I said the items in the
Neighbourhood.
Mr Mayor, can I just say,
Yes.
Ashley will know that I was a critic of this to start with. Quite a loud one around this particular table. I couldn't have got it more wrong. You know, really, it's just quite remarkable what you've achieved. And very well done for me, and I'm humbled.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions to Ashley?
Well done.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley. You're going to wait for the next part.
Yes.
We move on now to the contract administrator. Now you will see in your papers that this is in pink, which is ordinarily confidential. So if you're referring to anything about it, please would you only refer to it as Company 1 or Company 2, but without names of the companies, please. Okay. Ashley, is it yours?
So as I mentioned in my report, we are looking for a contract administrator. We have received, so if you're not quite sure, so this is all new to me. So the contract administrator is responsible for administrating the building contracts on the council's behalf. So they're kind of our middleman. So they ensure that the contract's implemented, they monitor everything, and they basically look after our interests with regards to the contractors with the main contractor. We have received 2 fee proposals for this role. These are supplied at the bottom of the documents. Company 1 have confirmed that they can undertake the contract administrator duties for a fee of £8,500. Company 2 have also agreed that they could undertake the duties for a fee of £43,800, which they advise is in line with early budget allowance.
So I think company one and company two are the other way round.
Yeah.
So we're only going to refer to them as company one.
Sorry, yes, I do apologise. So company, right, so, yeah, sorry, the narrative of company one is actually in the box as company two, yeah. If we go with the boxes at the bottom, so company one have come in with a quote of 43,500, company two with a quote of 8,500. So both companies have declared that they can achieve the role as specified.
No, we've confirmed both the quotes and we've supplied them, so you've been able to have a look at what they've written in
So that's followed by,
I see quote now from the quotes and looking at the
followed
paper.
by,
The quote two is an individual and the first company is a company. Can you outline what sort of input we're going to get from this company? Because that seems to be a hell of a difference in price for the same job.
Well, like I said, we did confirm the prices with the two companies, and this is what came back.
Well, very briefly, I suspect everybody is thinking in the same way, but with the reference in the quotes of no less than £35,000, so that is any indication of why there is such a difference?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Well, I mean, the quotation is as it is written, it is in front of you.
Is it for the same job? Are the £43,000 doing more than the 8,000?
Some
Or is it
companies
just the same
quote
job?
differently, some quote as a percentage, for example, of the job, of the project sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've gone back to them and they confirmed the prices and the scope of works, which is similar. Yeah.
Looking at them briefly, company,
In a minute, please, Tim, I've got an order, okay, I'll put you on the list. Sam?
I emailed everybody earlier, letting my thoughts known. I think after receiving this at 8:20 on Friday night, alongside items 9, 11, 13 and 14, it's too late a notice for us to actually make a real informed, detailed decision after not really having much time to look at the documents. We could be potentially asked to spend 43 grand on one company and then 4 grand on the town crier, upgrade to the fire alarm of between 5 and 12. It's a lot of money to discuss, but we've only had the documents for 2 days. So I propose we defer them.
Is it budgeted works? We have got budget for the works in each case.
If you're proposing...
Yeah, we might have budget. I mean, I might have the budget to go and buy a Rolls Royce, but I'm not going to. Just because we've got the budget there, we haven't had enough time to scrutinise, to look at it in detail, what it's all about. If there is a vote, I'll just abstain on all of them.
If that's a proposal to defer it...
Yeah, I'll propose to defer.
I've got an order to speak, please. I've got an order to speak, please. Sam?
I just wanted to really know if, because I've read both quotes, and to me the scope of works are the same. I wanted to really know is both of the members who are from these companies are already involved in the project anyway, so is company one effectively charging us twice for the same person's amount of time? Because from my understanding, looking at where the meetings they've already said they're going to, they should already be there anyway. So are they going to be sending 2 representatives, or is it going to be the same person doing 2 jobs?
I don't think we're being charged twice for the works. No. The project management bits have been separated in.
Yes, but what I'm getting at is the person's going to be at the meeting. They'll be charged because it's an LLP job. They'll be charging an hourly rate for that meeting. If they're going as the contract administrator as well, will that hourly rate be added on top of that, despite the fact the person's there for that meeting anyway?
suppose for a meeting, you could wear two hats for a meeting, yeah, but the work is different.
Yeah,
But
I
hear what you're
agree,
saying, I hear what you're
but-
saying, but yeah, potentially you could get the same information for the two roles.
Yes. Not necessarily paying for a new person, we pay for the same person just to be the same.
Yeah, my question obviously relates to the difference for the same work, but initially, I am concerned why we actually need this. We do have a quantity surveyor, or is that in a different language, or is this the role of a quantity surveyor stroke project manager, where we wouldn't pay the contractor until X work has been done? So I see this as another layer. Is it something that's linked with historic buildings? Because I've never come across a contract administrator. I've got a quantity surveyor, I've got a project manager. I don't know where this one comes in and why we should even pay 8,000.
Well, part of it, one of the really important parts of this role is that we're drawing up a contract which we'll be giving to the main contractor to deliver.
Correct.
It's a heritage building, so we're not quite sure what we're going to find. So quite often with these, certainly this nature of this type of project, is that you start the work thinking you know what you're going to be doing, and then something comes up along the way which is entirely different.
Okay.
And you have to get the conservation people in, and the contract administrator will manage the changes to the contract.
But he won't be liable for them.
No, well, what will happen is he will specify
So
the
there's no
changes
liability.
to make sure that, you know, we know who's paying and we know it's going to be different.
So-
And that it's delivered at the end as a modification to the main contract.
So in essence, we're paying £8,000 to somebody who's going to tell us when we've got it wrong or when the contract is going wrong, but it's not going to help us.
Not that it's going wrong, that it needs a modification. Because obviously, if things change and something comes up that you want to do, but you haven't actually put in the plan because you didn't know that it was needed, somebody needs to specify that part of the work and make sure that that is delivered because it's different from the original contract. So the original contract, you know, if the contractor at the end says, well, we delivered what you wanted, but actually there were 5 changes along the way that also needed to be delivered, they need to be administered and specified and costed and put in as well for delivery. So it's quite a key role, to be honest. It is necessary. It would be putting ourselves at risk if we didn't.
I just see it as another layer. That's just an
It was in the original budget, and it was specified as part of the original role.
Yeah, and the significant difference really is just not comprehensible. And to present a report to a Joe where there's clearly, you know, £35,000 difference for the same role. I mean, okay, if it comes in with 5,000, then we have to sort of look at it, don't we? But this is clear, something is different between the two contracts, and we do not know what that difference is.
It's entirely different.
Yeah.
The budget was, I think, 20,000. So one's coming low, one's coming high.
Well, I don't know if I'm reading this wrong at all because I haven't really had much of a chance to look through it. But the main difference seems to be in that number 1, the expensive one, is including 16 days for a partner director at £975 a day and 64 days for a senior consultant at £675 a day. Sounds like nice work if you can get it. I propose we don't give it to them. Why do they need these these days, these extravagant rates, and the other firm doesn't?
Called taking the module,
Anybody want to comment on Tim's comment? Okay, Mark is next. Your points are noted.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it seems to me that company one, the expensive company, they simply looked at how many times they will need to work on it over the course of the project and charged us a whole day for each one of those times they will need to look at it, even if actually looking at it only takes an hour out of the day. Whereas the other bidder appears to have looked at the project holistically and done a bid based on the total amount of work it will take over the course of the contract, rather than charging us a whole day every time they need to just read an email or something like that. So I think that the second quote, the much lower one, is actually a more realistic one of the compared to the amount of work that it will take. And I am happy to propose that we accept the quote from company number 2, the lower value figure.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
I accept there's been a proposal, but there are other people that wish to speak, and then we'll ask for a second and go on from there. Andrew.
I just was going to second everything I've already said, to the second Sam's proposal. We shouldn't be discussing this because we have only had the information for a matter of hours, instead of a matter of days.
Can't we just defer this?
You have had it, but you've had it, so what did you say, you've only had it for a couple of hours?
Yeah, this arrived at 8 o'clock. I only saw it today, so.
Yeah,
what
20
time-
past 8 on Friday it arrived.
Yeah,
Arrived on Friday.
I saw the agenda, but I haven't seen any of this until today.
Oh, will it arrive on Friday?
Well, that may well be the case, but I haven't seen it, and, you know, other people have said the same. Tim's just said he hasn't seen it.
I saw it, I haven't had a chance to read it in detail.
No, no.
My understanding is that all the supporting paperwork for the agenda was sent out on Friday. Obviously, that comes down to IT, you know, at the speed at which emails get delivered and the time when people read it.
Within minutes from other people. Anyway, you've had a proposal in a second, then it's up to you what you do with it.
You can, because there's two
Shouldn't
parts
this
to it.
role be taken up by the contractor? Because obviously they're finding issues. Wouldn't it be prudent then to have that role within the contractors?
Be ideal to have somebody independent do it.
Yeah,
Right.
otherwise the contract will say,
They have to be in.
market rate.
Because of the difference between the proposal and then the counter proposal and then a second to the first one, which is what I was just discussing. So as the first proposal from Councillor Sam Bastow was for deferment, I have to take that first, and that was seconded by Councillor Andy Dyer. So those in favour of a deferment.
Can you just confirm that it's deferment of all of the agenda items?
Has been all of the agenda items.
I think it's
No.
well,
Well,
one item.
Yeah, for,
I
said it all in one go.
My understanding is the deferment of the contract administrator.
Now, you mentioned
Well,
items.
Yeah, I mentioned the item, basically the ones where we
Nine,
spend our money.
fire
9,
No, the town crier.
Yeah.
The town crier, I think we can do with
10 or 11 as well.
Yeah,
But-
9, 11, 13, 14.
No, I think that as can be. I'm happy to ask for a vote on deferment of the contract administrator.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But we do need to resolve other matters within the agenda.
No, has to be. Bylaw has to be.
So on the basis of the proposal by Councillor Sam Bastow for a deferment, bearing in mind, of of course, that there is a timescale to this appointment, seconded by Councillor Andrew Dyke, for deferment. Those in favour? Sorry, just before.
Councillor Ashley's opinion on the deferment.
Well, there's been a proposal come. I appreciate there may be an opinion.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just think that an opinion could be relevant to the vote.
Yeah, just asking Ashley's opinion on what we're voting on is.
What?
We're only voting on one now?
You've got the submissions made by the two companies. There's been a proposal for deferment for time to consider it further. There's been seconded.
Yes, I'm just asking whether Ashley thinks that deferment is convenient or not.
What we'd like to know is what time frame is in play here.
If Ashley says no, we've got to decide tonight, then we need to decide tonight.
In that case, Tim, I agree with what you're saying. One person speaking at a time, please. Ashley, would you like to?
Time is critical, I won't lie at all. The Arts Council project has to finish, it has a deadline of March 2027. And if you defer this tonight, my assumption would be it would be deferred until February, which means that then no contracts will be issued till main contractors till late February. It has to go through legal, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. Time is absolutely critical, but I can't. You know, I'm an officer of this council. I can't instruct you on what to say, but time is critical, and I think the clerk would agree with me. Sorry, Joe, dropping you in here. But yeah, time is of the essence, simply.
I think the clerk mentioned earlier that there will be a council later on to discuss the precept, which will be just towards the end of January. Would that be within your time frame?
I personally would obviously prefer not to have a deferment. I would prefer to have a decision. But as a council, you need to be comfortable with your decisions. If it is possible and within the time frame of that extra meeting that the clerk has mentioned to bring this back to the table for a decision, then that's we'll just have to deal with the time frame, within
Can we just push the meeting until next week?
Another meeting next week.
Right, we have a proposal on the table. We have it seconded for deferment to a date to be confirmed, whether that be with the attached to the extraordinary meeting that comes towards the end of the month, or deferred until next February. And
if we are only voting on deferring one item, which is the item that Ashley's just been talking about, I withdraw my second.
okay. So in that case, we have a proposal. Is anybody else prepared to second it?
No, I've got a proposal. Yeah, he's proposing.
No, I'm proposing the acceptance of the quote. I'm not proposing deferment. I will vote against it. That's what I said. If you can't be asked to read your new papers over the weekend, then frankly you don't belong in this chamber.
Also very strong words.
Right, thank you. We've had a withdrawal of the second, therefore I move to the motion proposed by Councillor Mark Googe, seconded by Councillor...
You did have a second.
Therefore, the proposal is to accept Company 2. Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? One abstention. Therefore, it's carried, and Company 2 will be the contract administrator. We got there in the end, to go a bit longer than I'd anticipated. I'm very conscious of time. And the next item, the finance one, always promotes questions, quite rightly. People have scrutinised the figures and will have questions to answer. But with items to follow, I'm not making it definitive, but I'd like this item to last no longer than 15 minutes, please. Sarah.
Okay, apologies that December isn't out with you. I couldn't get hold of a couple of invoices, so I couldn't complete it. So when it says Q3, it should include December, but it's got October and November. I've actually finished it today, but it was just too late to send out today.
So these aren't right.
Sorry?
This isn't right. What?
No, you can still approve October and November. I can't, but like not December, because it was so close and I just couldn't get hold of a couple of
Okay.
I mean, it's still just the 12th of January, and I've still done December today, just not in time for this meeting. So, any questions on October receipts and payments? First, please be aware that despite the router being there and my laptop being here, my laptop is saying that there's not a good enough signal, so I can't get onto Reactus at the minute. So any questions will have to be off the top of my head.
Yeah, on page 2, content. There's an item for content capture, item 5095, document redaction.
Yes. Oh.
What on earth is that?
Document redaction is when somebody does a subject access request, or
Sorry, does it?
when somebody does a subject access request or a freedom of information request,
Yeah.
and when we supply it, we have to block out the details of any third party.
Right.
And if somebody requests a lot of emails or a lot of documents, that's a lot of redaction. So we get a company in who specialises in
Doing that.
going through and crossing all those out. So that's what it's
Okay, and that cost £1,074, okay. Yeah.
There could be thousands of emails that they're having to go through
Yeah.
on our behalf.
Yeah.
Because there is no time in the office to
Okay,
do that.
I understand, I'm not happy, but I understand.
It's a legal requirement, unfortunately.
Yeah. And another one, Gemini data loggers, number 118592, calibration.
Yeah, so that was, I just looked round in the hope that Ashley was still stood there, but she's not. So that was something for the almonry to calibrate some equipment. Other than that, I couldn't tell you anything.
That's, I'll ask her, right, okay. Yeah. Christmas lights, we have the invoice for Blanchard, which I understand. There's also an invoice for storage.
Yeah, because we've got to store it in between each year.
Right. So when we do the budget, it's not just Christmas lights, it's the storage as well.
But it's installation, renting of them, taking them down and storing them for the rest of the year.
Right, okay. Does that come off next year's bill or?
No, it's crossed, it's the same every year.
Because I don't remember seeing the storage before.
I think different companies just separate the bill out separately. But we've always paid the storage before. You can't expect some company to store them.
No, I understand that. It just, yeah, seems a lot of money and, yeah.
Your garage next year?
Huh?
Your garage next
No
year?
room, we've got other stuff in. Yes, and I say I hadn't seen it before.
I think just obviously SparkX just detailed their invoices differently. This
Yeah.
year they did it as a separate.
Doesn't that take us way over budget for the Christmas lights?
It shouldn't do, it should have been included. It would have been included in the original
Yeah.
quote, because we would have needed it.
I'm not going to push it, I'd ask you to suggest you might go and look at that.
I think from memory we did look at it. They've
Yeah.
just separated it out. But I can't, unfortunately, I can't get hold of anything at the moment.
Yeah. And the last one is the water for Rydal Place. Over £3,000. Is that because of a leak?
We keep sending our outdoor team up there to look every leak that's reported. We look into. We've got. So what I do is every December to December we take a reading, and because we recharge the allotment holders, so
Yeah.
I've just taken a reading. It was actually today we got a reading. That bill might fall, that's based on estimates and things, but
we are doing Rhineham Place are out using water compared to Common Road massively. We keep checking for leaks. Mr. Skirfield goes up several times a year. Any reports, we are doing everything we can. The problem is before we existed, before many of you, unfortunately, there was a plumber, we believe, who had an allotment on Rhineham Place. And despite the contract saying thou shalt not make spurs, I think this plumber, and this is just hearsay, so if anybody said, oh, do you mind knocking me up a standpipe at the end of my thing, here's 25 quid, he did all that, and of course, all those have the potential to leak, and now it's become our problem to try and sort out.
Have you tried making sure all the taps are turned off and then monitoring the meter for a day?
Yes.
And is there any passage during that period of time?
We've only got 1 meter for the whole site.
Yes, I realise that.
We have tried that. There's nothing obvious. We've also, during winter months, we turned it off at source because nobody's watering. So it's been turned off for several months.
Still on?
No, because of the reading today, I don't know what it's like at the moment. So we are doing absolutely everything possible. We are aware that there seems to be a problem, but as at the minute, we don't know. The contract that got sent out last year asked them to try and store water, collect rainwater so they can water their stuff, a bit more friendly. We asked them they're not allowed to leave sprinklers on overnight, or as we found some people were going to the allotment first thing in the morning in the height of summer, switching their sprinkler on, going off to work and coming back in. So they are not allowed to leave anything on unattended. We appreciate that the water bill is massive. We do recharge it, but we are doing absolutely everything possible to try and stop it. Because we don't.
It could be genuine usage.
It could be.
Really
could be. But that means somebody up there is using an awful lot of water.
Probably spread across a few of them to be.
Could be.
Robert, any other questions?
No, that's it.
Thank you. Anybody else, any further questions to the financial report? No, in that case,
I make a proposal to pass that in.
sorry?
I make a proposal to pass that in.
It's not such a proposal, it's noted. Okay, it's noted, but those in favour? Anybody?
You said it.
Sorry?
You have a second?
Yeah, Sharon. Start again. Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions?
My name be recorded on it. Okay.
It will be. Move on now to agenda item 11, the upgrade to the fire alarm in the town hall. Again, you had a paper on this. Obviously, this is a legal requirement. Okay, everything is in the report. Again, there is a pink page, so any discussion will refer to companies by number, not name. And first, followed by Matt, followed by Sam.
Right, looking at the three quotes, that company 1 and company 2 are pretty similar. The difference between them is just over £600. However, the slightly higher company, their figure for monitoring and inspections is rather lower. So if anything, that is likely marginally cheaper. And we are informed that this company has worked at the town hall previously, and so on and so forth. So they are people who have been working for us essentially already. I think merely on the basis of price, the company 3 is more than twice the other two. We leave that out.
Yes.
Matt?
I just wanted to ask Town Clerk, we've worked with Company One before, are they good? Do we want to work with them again? All that usual, do we want to change, all that usual stuff?
No, we're happy with them.
Happy with them?
Very good, very cool.
In which case I propose that we employ Company One.
I'll second it.
Good. Dan?
Can I just ask, what is the length of the contract?
Hang on a minute. Go on.
Sorry.
I've got an order of speakers, Sam Hans.
It would be really good to see a breakdown of the quotes, so we can see exactly what items have been quoted for and what haven't. Because for one to come in at double the I would suggest that something is slightly different. And we looked at other options such as getting an electrician to install and then the alarm contractor to commission, as that will be more cost effective than using the fire alarm operator or commissioner for everything. And the contractors haven't allowed for associated electrical works, making good, any plaster damage. So that would be stuff to look at as well.
No, we haven't investigated options, we've gone straight to specialist company.
Yeah, I'd suggest that you speak with an electrician or a few. They can get the system designed and they can install it and then get the fire company to commission it. That's what I do on my project, so it's far more cost effective.
Okay, thank you. Robert?
Yeah, in one quote they mentioned checking all the fire extinguishers. Was that included in all three quotes? I couldn't work that out.
Sorry, say that again.
In one of the quotes, it mentions checking the fire extinguishers.
Oh yes, that's right. No, that was an optional extra. We already have the fire extinguishers checked, and we were already in a contract for
Right,
that
so that was
already.
an optional
So
extra.
that was an optional extra that they could have done, but we don't need that, and that's not.
Okay, right, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Strictly speaking, it's not a legal requirement that we upgrade it because it's grandfathered in on a very old system. But I would compare it to the system we've got in a person sending a message with a cleft stick to the internet at the moment. We really, really do need to think about upgrading it. Otherwise, we're going to have possibility of an empty shell.
I was just going to agree with Peter, isn't it of some urgency that we get this sorted out?
Well, it's flagged on
Well,
audit, yeah, it's flagged on audit at the time.
does the alarm work yet? Downstairs, can we hear it here, while we're sitting up for a tunnel that we can't get out of?
No, they'll be inspected already on the commercial.
Is it working?
Good.
It's just those comments that, about Councillor Bastow, about getting another company in. If we get another company in my reading of this, if we get another company in, then the company that's doing the monitoring and everything will have to check it all out, sign it all off, and incur more costs on the monitoring. So, if you've got somebody that we're working with already, and they're going to install it and monitor it, I just can't see what we're making a big thing of. Go with company one, in my opinion.
Well, we already have a proposal. I would like to just confirm what you said before, please.
Yeah, I'd like to propose that we use Company One.
I'll second that.
There was a second to that.
Okay.
There was a second to that originally.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Marion?
Just a quick question. Is the building checked for carbon monoxide at all?
Yes, I believe so. Should be. I will check. I'll specifically check. It'll be by the
into the building, you then could have carbon monoxide.
There has to be, by law, there has to be one by the boiler. Boiler cannot operate without one.
Okay, any further comments? Okay, we have a proposal from that seconded by Bill to accept company one.
Seconded by John.
I beg your pardon. Second. We accept company one. Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. We now move on to item 11, the civility and respect.
Can we defer this please until Councillor Shagaki is here? Because I don't see why we're all signing if she's not here to sign
It's the
it.
council that signs it, we vote and the council signs it.
No, I still want her to be here to do it. So can we, I ask that we can defer this to next meeting.
Well, the council's already voted to sign it, this is the agreement on the policies that we've there.
Right.
Yeah, this is just.
It's just, because she's not here.
No, the document has already been written, John. This is now for the council to, if you like, rubber stamp it, to agree it, or whatever.
Yeah, so, council agreed at the last meeting, if you recall, to sign the pledge.
Yeah.
But in signing the pledge, which I'll do online, it says, do you have this policy, do you have that policy, and these are the policies which are used. So that's what we need to do.
Can a councillor then say, well, I'm not part of that
Oh, no,
pledge?
the council agrees to sign
So
the pledge.
we agreed tonight, everybody's in.
Everybody is.
The council is agreeing.
Mr. Chairman, you could, if you like, take A and B separately.
Yeah.
They are being taken separately. Yes. Hence they are A and B.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to propose from the chair that we accept the policy as has been identified in the document that we have.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Anybody want to make any further comments? Mark?
Can you just confirm that if this is we're voting on block to accept all of the policy documents in item 12A, or are you expecting to vote on them separately?
No, all as
We're simply voting to accept the policies as written.
policies as written, unless you'd like them to be taken separately.
No, I'm perfectly happy to do them on block. I just want to be
Okay.
sure that's what we're doing.
Right, yes, that is the proposal. Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? One abstention.
No, that's recorded as well.
Sorry, yes. We now come on to agenda item 12B, consideration of Councillor Nishikaki's apology for breaches of code of conduct. This has been brought to this meeting because those who have read the papers and know the history of this, it was agreed by this council and resolved a meeting on the 30th of June. Resolved that the Town Council issue a formal censure, which was done to include a requirement for Councillor Nishikaki to provide a written apology and to engage in learning and development. Suitable wording for the apology would be agreed with involvement of Town Council officers, the content of which would be agreed by Council at each extraordinary meeting, and Councillor Nishikaki would be required to read out the apology at a future meeting of the Council. That was a motion passed by this council on that date. A later email from Councillor Emma Nishikaki states it was never voted that the apology be written on my behalf. Well, that is obviously a contradiction to the motion that was carried. People who were in attendance last November, Tim, I'll come to you in a moment, who were in attendance and saw the comments made and then the words spoken by Councillor Nishikaki, which essentially don't conform to the motion passed by this council, even though we accept that apologies were made. but it's for this council to decide whether or not they accept the apology given on the meeting last November, even though it doesn't fully comply with that was passed by this council on the 30th of June. I want to bring a line under this, if the decision is that people disagree, that's their prerogative. If they agree, that again is their prerogative. And I will then make comment dependent upon your response and your decision. Tim.
I'd like to propose that this item is struck out entirely from the agenda, not least on the grounds that there never was any resolution of the council that Councillor Nishigaki would read out an agreed apology. If you listen to the recording and watch the video, the Mayor is very clear. He says we'll vote on what he said, and that's what we voted on. And there was an amendment which was going to be introduced by Councillor Good, I believe. That was never voted on. The vote was as the Mayor read it out. And I did raise this at the time when we were discussing the minutes, but it was brushed under the table. So let's just strike it out and put the whole sordid mess behind us once and for all. Not least because there's other councillors in this room who've done so much worse than Councillor Nishigaki and haven't received any form of censorship at all.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, and your comments are noted, Tim.
It's a proposal.
Well, I bring you back to the motion resolved by this council back on the 30th of June, which is different to what actually happened on the council meeting in November. Emma.
Yes, thank you. I propose that we do not accept the apology given by Councillor Nishigaki in November. She made no attempt to be conciliatory in her apology, and also played platitude to the reasons why she broke the breach of conduct, or she breached the code of conduct. Whichever District Council did not issue a report. An independent adjudicator issued the report on behalf of whichever District Council monitoring officer, who was then presented with a list of investigations, and that investigation found that she had breached the code of conduct on 3 times. By virtue, so I do not accept her apology on that. My second point is that by her continuing to disagree with the findings laid out in that investigation, irrespective of council meetings, but her desire to not accept concurs that she is in breach of the Code of Conduct, Section 8, which clearly states, as a member of this council, you will adhere to the Code of Conduct, and you will adhere to any investigations found in any either favour. She has absolutely chosen not to accept that. The third point, which I think is a matter of law, is actually that the investigation had advised, irrespective of our personal knowledge, advised that all of the complainants were apologised to anonymously, and that is clearly laid out in the 137 of the recommendations of the investigation. When considering these recommendations, Evesham Town Council be mindful that all public reports, agendas, minutes should contain appropriate redaction of the complainant's personal data. I say that Councillor Nishigaki actually breached the code on that occasion. So in her attempt to provide an apology that was a non-apology, she continually breaks the code of conduct related to this council, and therefore I propose that we do not accept it.
I've made a proposal that this item is struck out. Would anyone second it?
I will come to that in a moment. We are still in discussion.
We don't need any more discussions. I've made a proposal.
Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. How long is this going to go on?
Tonight.
How long is it going to
tonight.
You yourself said you need to draw a line in the sand.
It will be.
The only way to do that is not to accept what Councillor Stokes has just said. Right or wrong, I don't really care. We need to take this off all agendas in the future and get on with our lives.
As me and Sharon were part of this apology, there was an apology. For me,
Given away.
when it was donated to the Mayor's charity.
Doesn't matter, you receive it.
No, it was a nice gesture, but I couldn't take it. Because me and Sharon were obviously part of this, I feel this does not serve the council in any way anymore, pushing this down the line, and feel that we either state that apology was not achieved, and that goes on Nishigaki's record, because I don't think whatever we do, we're ever going to get any more than we have.
No.
So I would make a proposal to move this down the road, and I'd like to second Andrew's proposal that we move this down the road.
No, there's already been a proposal from...
No, not struck from the agenda. No, I want noted that she hasn't apologised.
Yeah, but we have to take it in order. Tim has made a proposal.
My proposal is that...
No, John. Tim has made a proposal that has been struck from, and that has been seconded. So I have to take that proposal first. So...
Councillor Nishigaki has complied with what the council decided, which was that she was to apologise. The council did not vote on an apology being prepared for her, which she was to read. That is totally apparent from the video recording.
That is actually recorded in the minutes of the 30th of June. But I'm not going back on that.
Fraudulent minutes.
Leave it alone.
I'm taking your proposal, right, that it now be struck completely, proposed by yourself, seconded by Councillor Julie Haynes. Those in favour of it being struck? Those against? Okay, that motion is defeated. We now come on to any further proposal with regards to your proposal was, but we did have a proposal from Councillor Emma Stokes.
Which has not been seconded, and I would absolutely concur with...
Yes, but your proposal came in.
It did, but it was not seconded.
That's because we went into Mark.
Just a couple of things on this. Firstly, of course, with the exception of John and Sharon, the people who were the victims of this breach of conduct aren't present here and haven't given us their feedback on this. So I do think we should have at least sought their viewpoint on what we have got in front of us before attempting to reach any decision on it ourselves, because they're the ones who are affected far more than most of us in this room. However, I will just say something here. In this document we have in front of us, Councillor Nishigaki goes through a whole series of what I can only describe as excuses before finally getting to the apology. As Councillor Stokes has said, she at no point accepts the findings of the independent investigator, and at no point accepts that she wrote the code of conduct. Moreover, something in here, she goes on to use her disabilities, neurodivergency, as an excuse or justification for her behaviour. And she states in this document, I am not the only neurodivergent councillor in this room. There are 4 others declared, and I suspect 2 others in addition. Now, I am one of the ones that I know she is referring to in that statement. And all I'm going to say here and now is that being neurodivergent is not an excuse for abusive behaviour, it is not an excuse for lying, it is not an excuse for bullying, it is not an excuse for hurting people. To believe that it is an excuse and a justification is not merely grossly ignorant, it is deeply, deeply offensive. And unless Councillor Nishigaki accepts that and stops trying to use her disabilities, shared by others, who have not in any way behaved as appallingly as she has, then there can be no meaningful apology. That said, I entirely agree that it's time to draw a line underneath it. I think we should simply vote to say, apology was not given, let's move on, we will
Yeah.
no longer accept it.
The line is draw a line in the sand.
We're not going to get an apology.
What I said before was as a result of whatever is said by people and whatever a vote outcome is, there will be a line drawn in the sand on this. There will either be that this council accepts the apology, or it will be that if the council don't accept it, then comment will be made that the council is disappointed that the apology was made, but not with intensity or integrity as outlined by Councillor Emma Stokes. Or words to that effect.
I
can't come out with a statement off the top of my head. It will take discussion and consultation with the town clerk, but it is for this council to decide, basically, do you accept what was said last November, or do you not accept it? And that is it. That is it directly. Yes or no.
So in addition to the statement that you prepare, what other consequences are there for us voting no?
No.
No.
Whatever you decide tonight, that will be it. Whatever statement results from that will be based on your decision tonight. A line will be drawn. This council has important business to the community, and we must not be using time going back and back and back over situations like this. I mean, as I mentioned earlier on, what I quoted was from a meeting back in June. Here we are in January 2026, still discussing it. We have more important items to discuss. We have a duty to our community, and time must be spent on aspects and agenda items relating to the community. I understand people's sentiments about it, but that is it in a nutshell as far as I'm concerned. You either accept what was said last November, or you don't. So, we come back to your proposal?
Yeah, that's exactly
Which was, if you kind of
draw a
repeat
line
it?
in the sand. People have got different views. We've got more important things to talk about. This should be shown.
But a proposition that I need to hear is a proposal to accept it, or a proposal to not accept it?
Well, accept it then.
Accept her apology.
I proposal to not accept it,
Yeah.
duly noted, that we will not get an apology, and that we move the item on.
And it won't come back on.
It won't come back, we duly know we're moving it on.
But
But I'm not accepting an apology, that wasn't an
Okay.
apology.
John, just a minute. I've had a proposal from Andy Dyke to draw a line and accept the proposal. Do I have a second? Thank you, Julie.
Could I?
Yes.
Could I just make a comment that if we accept what Andrew's saying, and we draw a line under it, then
Drawing a line under both. I thought that's what the, sorry to
Sorry, that's all, draw a line under it as well, Bill.
yeah. So if we're doing that, then I would like to make the comment that whatever comments are made at a later date, they are put in the bin.
Correct.
Because we have listened to this for long enough. As you said, it's gone on now for over 6 months or whatever. There is no genuine reaction that I can see. Emma might have her problems, but that is not the council's jurisdiction to keep on and on and on, going to one councillor's whims and whinnies and complaints, etc. We've got to do as Andy says, draw the line under it, and we don't want to hear another thing about this, because it's just wasting our time. Our time is valuable.
Okay, we have a proposal from Councillor Andy Dyke, seconded by Councillor Julie Haynes, to accept the apology as given last November. Those in favour? Those against?
Can I ask that the vote be recorded, please?
You want it named?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to do the falls again then. Because I didn't write down the names, it wasn't.
All right, we'll leave it.
I mean, that should have been called before you took the vote.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Right, in that case, the proposal has been carried.
Can you call for abstentions then?
Oh, I beg apologies, abstentions. Thank you. Good. 3 abstentions.
Against? Wasn't asked?
It was.
Yeah, it was.
I'm against.
So that motion has been carried, that the apology is accepted by this council. Individuals can have their own opinions. There will be no further discussion with regard to this code of conduct, and those who want to make comment are entitled to do so as not only as individuals, but if you make any comment and use the word councillor, then I consider that you will be in potential breach of confidentiality. Emma?
There were other recommendations.
Yes. The only one we were talking about was the requirement to, for an apology. All the other motions have been carried out.
Have been carried out.
Oh,
The
or
train.
The train's in progress.
The train is in progress.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, again, I'm conscious of time. We only have 2 more, but we will make discussion. We now come on to item 13, the town crier regalia. As we all know, the latter part of last year, sadly, John Raphael passed away, town crier, and Gary Hale has been taking on that role. He does not have a town crier's regalia, and every time there is a requirement for the town crier, we are having to hire. And I know he put out to a number of people, if not all, a request that this council look at obtaining a town crier's regalia. I'm told that there is a budget for that specific purpose, and therefore it's going to be open in a moment. I'm going to ask.
Ask how much the budget is.
I'm going to ask in a moment the town clerk to just update you on different matters, including funds. First of all, Mark, the question.
Well, if you got some, can I be the first to speak after Joe says some?
Okay, go.
Well, it's pretty much all in the report. Gary's here if you want to ask him any questions about anything that's written or in the report. We have got a regalia budget. It's spent on things like, cleaning the roads, which is what we did, any repairs to the roads, any repairs or alterations to the mayor's roads. It also funds anything for the mayor's chain, engraving, past mayor's badges, past consort badges, all of those things. We do have an unspent budget at the moment. It's of 5,180. So any questions?
Can I also, I should have turned the page, just remind councillors again, the quotes are on a pink copy, so please refer to it as company 1, 2 or 3. Matt. followed by John.
Just quickly, how many times per year are we currently hiring?
Well, that's fine, isn't it?
Five or
Basically,
six.
we've got
Five or
5
six.
regular events, plus anything extra that comes along, so five annually.
How much is each event?
About 25.
Sorry. Sorry. Matt, I'll come back to you in a moment, but Mark wants to go, so my apologies.
We have had 2 quotes. The grand total is less than £100 between them. They're both comfortably within the budget we have for regalia and within the amount we have to spend. So my proposal is fairly simple, that we simply vote to buy it and let Gary choose which of the 2 he prefers, because it may be that one kind of, fits a bit better than the other. So I think we simply vote to spend money and let Gary go and make the purchase. So long as it's from one of these.
Can I just make a point to that? Yeah, the company 2 at the moment is my preferred, because I've spoken to the gentleman concerned, called Michael, obviously. He's based in Stockport, but he's got an office near Hinckley. And on the 29th of this month, I'll go to Leicester. So I said to him, if you all agree this evening, I'll ring them up tomorrow, make an appointment, so I can get the measurements done on the way back from Leicester.
Okay. Mark, is that a proposal?
Yeah, can I just make an amendment to that? Obviously on the first quote, Gary, the bottles are included.
They're included, yes.
And you want to go with quote 2?
I want to go with,
Now,
yeah.
is it possible you can get the shoes included in the price?
I would probably will do.
Right.
What if you probably can't?
Peter?
2 things, Mayor. Firstly, we'll recoup our money in about 7 years. And I think the last town crier was more than 1 decade, certainly.
More than 2.
20 odd
Yes,
years.
more than 2 decades. Seems a no-brainer, and I'm happy to second the proposal.
Can I just make a note of that? I am 52. I hopefully 20-25 years, depending on health or death. I'm still a youngster.
We'll carry you there anyway, just to get our money back.
Right, we have a proposal and a second. Any further comments?
Yes, I had a question. What state is the existing cars kit in?
Too slim.
Don't
Too slim.
I mentioned maintenance state rather than its size.
I would never get into it and fit into
No, I
it
didn't
anyway.
say that. No, I'm going to ask.
It's fine, it's out there at the moment. If
It's
you-
okay.
Yeah.
So that will be
Cleaned
kept
and
for.
it's covered and it will be kept.
So that will be kept for people as perhaps more
Be careful.
graceful line, graceful.
Well, can't it
Right,
just be
okay.
sold?
Wait.
Can we go for the cost?
John, wait a minute, please. We're answering Robert's question.
Yeah, graceful line. And is there any of that kit we can reuse? Because it's not everything you want, or do you need it totally new? The existing kit.
I would, yeah, well, I want it to be my livery. I can put my name on it.
Right.
The one I've been wearing for the last nearly 12 months.
Yeah.
It's a very popular costume and it's been used. The lady who runs the company washes it every single time.
Yeah.
And even my wife has washed some of the items because I get a bit sweaty in there. But it's not mine, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I would possibly, if it's still available, Robbie, would be the handbell. I would love to use John's handbell. That would be, that's a saving straight away. But yes, I would like to do that, just to pass it down the line, as it were. Because,
Do you need a new hat, Gary?
I will need new hats.
Yeah. And the last question.
That's included.
Can we hire them out and make money?
Well, hire out Gary.
Yeah.
Depends what activities you want to do.
It usually works if you don't be prepared.
Well, I know, you know.
Well, I appreciate your question, but that's not the agenda item. The agenda item
Well, I just think
is
of
to
financing it, you see.
That can become a supplementary at another time.
Okay.
All right? But I'm conscious of time. and I'm conscious of we have been there. We have a proposal, we have a second.
This old, no disrespect to Robbie and obviously, this old uniform, can it not be washed and sold?
It has been dry cleaned, but if for some reason we have an event, say a proclamation, and Gary happens to be on holiday,
Right.
then we might need somebody to stand in.
You can do it.
So that could be
You
useful.
can do it. Would you fit into John?
No, I wouldn't, I'd do it. I've got a job for it anyway.
And in years to come, I think, because I think that, I mean, I might be wrong, but I would suspect the resale value is
Very little.
very little, and it might be that when Gary's is fed up of doing whatever he does for us, then the next town crier might fit in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, this is essentially what I was going to say, that in the armed forces, ceremonial uniforms are regularly handed on to somebody else, and if they're looked after properly, as this existing one seems to be, I hope there's some mothballs kept with it, then they last a very long time.
Mothballs, I hope not.
Yeah, well, my father got buried in a uniform which he made 50 years earlier.
Some cedar balls, I think, might need to go in.
I was only going to suggest that if we've got the old uniform, when the almond is refurbished, it could be in there on a model and show, you know, and with the comments like the town crier has been established in Evesham and this is his brigadier. Yeah, make use of it like that. It could go on as an exhibit.
Okay, noted, but that will be a matter for further discussion, but yes, totally taken on board. So, as I said, we have a proposal from Mark, was it? I'm just going to go back
You
now.
proposed it and somebody seconded it and now we're going to vote on it.
Well, hang on, let's get the facts to it. Proposed by Mark Roach, who seconded it? Peter.
Peter.
So those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions? One abstention. Right, we're almost there, and thank you for your time and your support. The last item then is the Mop Fair extension that's been requested by 1 extra day. You have the paperwork in front of you.
Everyone, they're going to leave the room.
Hey, let me finish, please. Bill and Celia have volunteered to leave the room whilst we debate this or discuss it.
The media don't have to go, do they? The media don't.
No, it's not quite so.
No, they've got a rudimentary interest in it. They'll sell sweets on it.
I'll go ahead.
Let's top the apples in the world.
I should have gone the other way, shouldn't I? Are you coming back again? Well, I've got them in this stuff.
Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. The opening part is the organisers of the annual Mop Fair in Wadanta have requested to extend opening from the usual Thursday to Saturday to include the Sunday until 8 p.m. and to leave the town by midnight. The remainder of the page, hopefully you have read, and that basically is what we're debating. On what you have in the subsequent pages are the results of surveys. John.
Because we're going to obviously give them another day, I'd like to see some concessions in it. You know, that the last day, it benefits parents who are low income, and we could see some benefit for giving him the extra day, so they get a benefit, and he gets the benefit of another day. So I'd like to propose.
More, sorry for interrupting. Who will charge you more?
Well, there will obviously be a charge for the extra day.
But it's only a minimal charge towards it. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, there are certain members of this town that cannot afford the fare. He's asking for another day. This gives us an opportunity as a council to set in stone that we can at least help those people to enjoy the fair as well, which is putting in for, say, from 12 to 4 o'clock, he has the concessions time for people on low income.
That is entirely his decision.
Well, it isn't. It's a decision the council can put as a stipulation for whether we allow him to have the Sunday. Because at the end of the day, they're going to make a lot more money. Right? And there are people in this town who cannot afford to take their children to the fair. So I cannot see, if he wants more time, then let's have a little bit back. Come on. You know what I mean?
What I would suggest is, if it is the wish of this council to grant it the extra day, that could well become a matter for negotiation with Edward Dancer, on the basis that the council are happy for you to have the extra day, if that is the wish of this council, but we need to discuss various conditions. There is time to do it. Sam, followed by Matt.
Yeah, I made some notes on it. There's about even numbers of people who would attend or not attend on a Sunday. 58% said it would have a negative effect on their business, and I do believe that we should support businesses that are permanently stationed in the town. The MOP is generally viewed as disruptive. Mr. Dancer wants the extra day as an insurance policy against any bad weather, not because it's extraordinarily busy over the 3 days that it currently is. Not enough people have said that they'd support it for an extra day to go ahead, in my opinion. And how much money will the town get if we were to go ahead with an extra day? And if it does go ahead, then I'd like to see that money is ring-fenced for something to support businesses in town that are here permanently.
Let's ask you, you're obviously reading those figures from an app that you've got. Are they the same?
They're the same.
As we're
yeah, I've just
reading
written them on my phone.
Okay. I was basically identifying whether they were different figures or whether they were one and the same. Okay, thank you.
Do you want me to answer the fee? John? Do you want me to answer the fee question?
Yes, please.
Off the top of my head, I believe it's 3,600 is the licence fee for the MOP at the moment. So that's for the 3 days. So it would be up to this council to decide what that fee goes up to. It is probably due a review because it's been on 3,600 for a few years. That is off the top of my head. So
Give or take £1,000.
So just one, I've got people ahead of you, just acknowledging you want to speak. Matt?
So I've been out and questioned my residents on this one. But generally, ambivalent is the view that I get. They're not particularly concerned either way. A lot of them are worried about businesses in Evesham, and I'm glad that the results of this survey sort of backs up that view. So generally I would be against. The only reason I would be for is for John's point of whether it actually brings a benefit to those that actually wouldn't be able to go to the MOP anyway. So those are the main ones. But otherwise I would generally just say it's fine. He only really wants it because the weather was bad this year.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this, and we also have to think about what Bill told us at the meeting, where some of the operators may not want to be there on Sunday. I don't know how that will dovetail in, and something, if we do approve it, we need to ask Dancer about. I had the privilege or the task or their own, whatever, of going around the businesses and handing out the leaflets. Some of them only last week. I didn't have enough time beforehand, but I talked to quite a lot of people. Yeah, some of the businesses aren't particularly in favour, but they're not particularly in favour of the MOP full stop at any time. And you have to distinguish, because we're going to have the MOP, the distinguishing is, the effect of the extra day. I think, on balance, a difficult one, and I take John's point. I don't know how you're going to operate your lower income, how they would operate, you know.
Just do it from 12 to 4 o'clock.
Well, it's not the timing, it's how people prove it, that's all.
It's how they do it in Stratford, it's how they do it in Worcester.
Well, okay,
Session
well,
stays there.
Okay, well, if that's possible, then we can ask it, that's fine. So I would suggest that we approve this on a one-year basis and see how it works. Reassess it carefully next year, for next year, and not commit yourself to more than 1 year.
Okay. Well, I was made a proposal. I was purely going to just make a comment myself, not as a proposal, but listening to what John's been said, is the mock will not happen until next October time. We have an element of time, although I appreciate he has to fill in his calendar, etc. Is there a mind to defer this to the next meeting so that an approach can be made to Edward Danter with the question that John is asking, whether or not that he is prepared to do, if we approve it, there would be concessionary rates for the, you know, and work out the who, what,
Just for 3 or 4 hours.
maybe people with disablements or whatever. I'm not making that as a proposal, I'm just throwing it out as a comment for you to quickly think about, and if anybody wants to pick up on it, then fine. Mark, followed by Robert.
As I understand it, we've been asked to give them a decision by the end of January because they need that length of time to make the decision. If we can't give a decision by the end of January, then they will take it as a no. As far as the, I mean, it's interesting to see the results of the survey. Residents are not overwhelmingly in favour, but broadly in favour. Businesses are more opposed. But on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure whether all of those businesses open on Sunday anyway, so I'm not entirely certain how much of that effect it's going to have. I think this is a difficult decision because it's not, we don't have a simple answer back from the survey that clearly says yes or clearly says no. I'm leaning towards saying yes, but I'm inclined to agree with Robert's idea that we should say yes for a trial period, maybe 2 years rather than just 1. And say that we'll review it at the end of the trial period and see whether it works or not. Because I do think we do need to be careful of the effects on businesses. Although I think with a lot of them, particularly the retailers, what it actually does is it simply moves business. People avoid the town centre while the mop is on, but they then come into the town once it's gone and do the shopping they would have done on the day when it was here. So I'm not certain that it necessarily depresses overall trade by a huge amount. But I do appreciate that it does have an effect. So I think I'm leaning towards Robert's point that we should say yes for a trial period.
Okay. Just looking at the time, we have 15 minutes left, and I've got here for 4 more speakers, so we are ready.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate what you said about approaching the Danters to ask if they can do a concessionary rate, and then deferring it to come back to that. But I think we're setting ourselves up for a yes vote on that. And if the Danters come back and say, yes, we'll do a concessionary vote, and then we vote, no, you can't have a mock, we're going to be the ones who look particularly good. So I think we need to decide, do we want a mock first? Yeah, I'm all in favour of putting the concessionary question to the Danters, but I think we should actually decide, do we want this extra day before we go any further?
A comment that the town clerk just brought to me.
The extra day is based on full price, not as concession.
Yeah, well, this is the point.
Just by way of information, we don't need to go back and ask Edward Danter, I've already asked.
When the survey was done, that aspect on the survey about having a deferred price was not put to residents.
No.
I believe if that was put to residents at the time, then a lot of people would have been in favour of it.
That's not our decision,
Yeah, but the whole aspect, if he wants it, we want something back, right? That's the easiest way to look at it, right? There are a lot of kids that don't get to enjoy the fair because his prices are so high.
You can't make
Right?
somebody's...
Yes, you can.
Well.
We say, yeah, we can let you have it, but we want...
We'll have a cross
something back in.
conversation, right? If you want to speak, please let me know. I've got an order. John, you were...
As I said...
You're saying...
It wasn't taken in survey about this concession today, right? I've been talking to Ed about it over the last 2 fairs. It's something that we have discussed in detail, right? At last time, he gave us 50 tickets towards the thing. If it was done on that basis, I'd be quite happy. Do you know what I mean? Where they can be dished out with the food bank and things like this. But I want to see something back from Dante for giving him another day towards the people who he outprices. Right? Because there are a lot of just kids who don't get the chance to enjoy the day.
So if I turn up on Sunday, do I get cheap?
If you arrive at that 4 hours, it's a concession
I get
time.
cheaper
It doesn't matter. It's a concession time for people who want to take the kids at that time because it's cheap. Or you take grandkids.
Well, okay, we're getting away from it at the moment. Emma, you were next, followed by Mark. Did you have that?
No, fact.
Emma.
My question is related to the cost of the additional road closures, because obviously there's the original traffic order, which actually will have to cover, you know, the 3 days or 4 days, but now it's going to cover the Sunday as well. And has County Council agreed to the road order or the road closure, or to be able to allow that to go for the 4th day? And I think we should allow the 4th day. I can't see why we shouldn't. 3rd day.
Edward Downton negotiates all that, we don't get involved in that.
But yeah, but I mean it's a significant factor, isn't it?
I know who's in charge, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the charge for the order is going to be a cost for the order, but it's whether County Council will allow that order for that 4th day, Sunday.
It will still have to go through the normal processes. Edward Downton was asking for our support, but he would still need to ask all the other relevant agencies.
Then that's fine if he does due process, and I would be in favour of a trial period for 2 years and say yes.
Okay, I think originally, Mark, you proposed a 2-year trial?
Yeah, 2-year trial. I mean, just to expand on that, all he's asking us for is whether we support it. If we support it, he will go to the county council and apply for the closure. And they may say no, in which case our support is kind of irrelevant anyway. But he won't ask the county until he's got our support. He won't go over our heads.
Okay.
So a proposal for a 2-year trial, seconded by Emma Stokes. Any further comment? Sam? Sorry, yeah, I did have it down.
Going back to John about what we're getting in return, we'd be getting an extra day's worth of money in return. That's what the council's getting.
The people who enjoy the fair don't benefit from that stuff, right? I'm telling you, the price of the rides are so expensive, people on benefit, their children will not go to them all, right? Now, here is an opportunity, he wants something from us. We can just stipulate that for the first 4 hours he opens, that he does it half price. The rest of the day he can have full price. But we can then inform people on benefit, who's the kids, please bring your children at this time, because Edward Dante has cut the rate of the price to allow people on concession.
I think it's really good that you think like that, but I don't think we can necessarily tell somebody how to run their business.
I can't see why not. He wants something from us. We've got to grant a licence.
Well, hold on please, let's not have everyone talking at the same time. Ellen, followed by Sue.
Yeah, I fully understand where you're coming from, John, and the concept of concessions is good. You briefly mentioned that he has given out 50 vouchers.
Yeah, which I ran through Wallace House last year.
And those are the type of things. So we can't litigate for who attends his rides when, but what we could do is ask for some vouchers to give to families. They're distributed through the
we could do that, Emma.
food bank.
But I think the town itself, when a businessman does something like this, it is appreciated by the town. right? And it will go in his favour if he shows a concessions time for people on limited
We
income.
can't indicate his business practice.
I'm not saying we can, but we can suggest.
John, I appreciate your passion and your commitment to it, but as just been said, we can't dictate or say
I'm not saying we
to a
dictate, we can ask the
businessman
question, can't we?
what and how he should. The question could be asked, but let's not go on about this has to be, that has to be. The question can be asked. What is before us tonight is, are we of a mind to agree to a third day? We've had a proposal that it be done on a 2-year trial period proposed by Mark Good, seconded by Emma Stokes. Any further comments? Sue?
I was just going to say that the only thing is it's very, very similar to when I was school teacher, we took children off to the safari park and what have you. If you're having an event like the MOP, it's very similar. It's something, it's a treat once a year, people look forward to it, and you just have to go along with whoever's running it, as long as they're not taking the mickey, follow their suggestions. And I'm
Okay.
totally for it.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Right, the proposal then is to offer the third day.
Fourth day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is.
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday. Beg your pardon, fourth day. Those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstentions?
Robbie's a true
Trial period. Thank you everyone for your time, your input, and as I said right at the beginning, a happy new year. Let's make it successful and support our community. Thank you. Meeting closed at 8:50.
Can I just say thank you for everyone?